Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview one of the persons for WJG Sports, Laieke Abebe. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Brandon.
You're welcome. Can you talk about how you got started in sports photography and videography?
Man, that's a super long story. Well, first, I started out. I attended East Carolina University, of course. I graduated at first with a degree in chemistry, if you could believe that. And I still had a love for sports all the way going back to high school where I grew up. I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina, of course. And then I took up sports photography and writing, thanks to a good friend of mine, Kai Jones. You know who Kai Jones is. And we started WJG Sports this past year, and it's really been a great experience. It started at North Pitt High School when I covered a football game when they played Kinston, and I think that was about 3 years ago now. But really, like, sports photography and videography are something I've taken up, especially over the last year. I've tried to really improve at that, and I think it's been a great experience because it's led me to meet people like Kai, like Junior Smith III, like you, and Avi Smoka at the News-Argus, and there are plenty of other people I can name, and it's just been an incredible experience.
How did you know that you wanted to become a sports reporter?
Oh, that's another good question, man. Well, at first, Kai tried to get me to write for the East Carolinian, which is East Carolina's college newspaper, and I was a little bit shy at first. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of a learning experience for me because I didn't know if I was really good enough. I kind of lacked self-confidence, to be honest. But really, it was just trying to find a way into the industry that kind of was in the back of my mind. And then Kai just convinced me to come out and start working for the Kinston Press. That's how I just mentioned that North Pitt Kinston game. That was the first sporting event I ever covered. And it's led me to do great things like go to the John Wall Holiday Invitational in Raleigh, go to all these colleges to see games, and all these various high school sports venues that are some of the best in the Southeast. And really, it's just been a great experience as well, getting to write. I did actually start writing in 2016, but I was writing for websites, and it was about like professional sports and stuff. But really getting into local sports reporting was a great idea, and I think it's been really worth the experience to have over the last 3 years.
How was your experience at the John Wall tournament?
Oh, that's another good question, man. The John Wall Holiday Invitational is one of the, if not the best high school basketball sporting event in America. And I've got the privilege to go on several occasions. My high school, actually, Westchester Country Day, got to play in the John Wall my freshman year of high school. I think that was back in 2010. And although the record wasn't really good, I think they only won one game, but the experience there was just so incredible. And really, it like gives you memories that last a lifetime. And I've had the privilege of being able to cover the John Wall the last 2 years. I had a funny story. In 2018 at the John Wall, I just walked into the gym just to find a seat because it's hard to find a seat at Broughton High School for that event in December. And I accidentally sat in Broughton High School student section, so I had to stand for like 3 games because they were all just standing and having fun, and I was getting made fun of by all the media guys that were sitting on the top level just looking at me. But last year was this past December was a great experience too, and being able to see some of the best teams I've ever seen in person, like seeing Montverde Academy that had Dayron Sharpie used to go to South Central, and he'll be at Carolina next year. Cade Cunningham, and a whole bunch of others. Like, it was just getting to see Jonathan Kaminga from the Patrick School, and even all the local teams. Of course, one of my teams I covered, Farmville Central, was in it, and they had a really good tournament. Although they only won one game, they were very competitive in the other two. Seeing Apex Friendship with Nick Farrar. I know you're a big NC State fan, so you know Nick Farrar, and really just seeing like all these great high school basketball student athletes going out there and performing at their very best, and it's just an incredible experience and an incredible atmosphere because Broughton High School it seats almost 5,000 people, I think, and it was filled every single night. So you get to see guys like Isaiah Todd and Josh Hall from Word of God and Moravian Prep, respectively. Shaquille Moore, who's going to NC State, too. Really, it was just – I could just go on and on about all the teams that were there. And not just the boys' teams, the girls' teams, too. Like seeing Angel Reese at St. Francis and Anya Poole, who's going to Carolina from Southeast Raleigh. She was that was a great basketball game on that Saturday. I think it was day 3. But I know it's just I could talk about the John Wall Holiday Invitational for ever and ever and ever. And I know Farmville Central girls were also in it, and they played pretty well too. So really, overall, the John Wall Holiday Invitational was a great experience. But I know you got other questions to ask me. I wish I could go on and on about it, though.
Can you talk about how you got started with WJG and what it represents?
Absolutely, man. WJG Sports stands for We General Grade Sports, of course. We started, let's see, how do I want to tell this story? So it started in the parking lot at Greene Central High School in Snow Hill. Myself and Kai, we were just talking about some things and ideas, and we were just shooting darts at a dartboard and trying to figure out what we could do to help the community represent the student athletes that are in the community. Really, that's how WJG Sports got started. It was about March or April of 2019, so last year, March or April last year. And it all started when we covered the East Coast Invitational, the ECI, as a summer basketball tournament held in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And we were covering, and we were getting video and photos, and that was really what set the tone for WJG Sports. Of course, that covers Wayne Johnston and Greene County, but we also branch out and cover the rest of the 252, 910, 919 areas that don't really get as much coverage. We try to branch out as much as we can so that we can expand our audience. And I think we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of the official start, which I think Kai says it's June 28th, but I say July 1st because it was kind of a round date. But still, WJG Sports it's been a great experience so far, and we're trying to build a platform that represents the kids and the communities of Wayne Johnston and Greene County and all surrounding areas. So that's really the purpose of our network. We're just trying to help these kids have and show the experience they have and playing sports that they love, and it's been a wonderful experience.
How is the interview process for you on covering these for WJG?
That's a good question. There obviously, there's some kids that are kind of shy around the camera, and that's understandable. I'm the same way. Of course, really just seeing kids, their kids, of course, that also love the camera. I mean, of course, but really, interview process is kind of a broad way to answer. Like there are a lot of different answers for that. It really just depends on who you're talking to. Of course, probably coaches and adults, they probably have a little more experience. And there's some, of course, that don't want to talk to media, and that's understandable. There's some that embrace media coverage, and that's understandable too. And really just interviews, it just happens. We always just ask people to be themselves, keep it real, and answer answer the easy questions, answer the tough questions. And I know you know a lot about that, Brandon. So interviews are really they are an important part of what we do, and it's really good that there are people like you and others that go out and try and get perspectives from everywhere, and that's also a really important thing about interviews.
What goes into the preparation when it comes to who are you interviewing for that game?
Well, obviously, the most obvious answer is that when you are when someone has a really good game, obviously you want to interview them and get their thoughts on everything. But for me, I always like to get different perspectives from different student athletes and coaches as well. We've interviewed everyone from head coaches to assistant coaches to even the biggest fans of their schools, some student athletes. And the one thing I like doing personally, I know everybody has a unique way of going about interviews, but one thing I like to do is I like to interview different people every time I see a same team. So, like, say I'm going to see, let's see, I'll just use Eastern Wayne High School as an example, and the basketball team. Wesley Case, I know Wesley loves to be interviewed. I know we talked on many occasions, but it's also good to get perspectives from guys like Devin Brown, the big kid who's going to Wake Tech, and guys like Zay Hardy and JJ Murray. And it's really good to get perspectives from different kids just to see what they think, you know?
What are some upcoming plans for WJG in the future?
Oh, now you get into the good stuff. I love it. Well, we've got some things in the works as of right now. There's one really special thing that we're waiting for July 1st to announce. We'll let you know about that, of course. Right now, we got a few things planned for the summer. As long as everything is everything's good for like the COVID-19 pandemic and stuff, we do have some things planned. We're coming up, of course, on our 1-year anniversary of WJG Sports, and we're just we're going to try to have some new things for the, we're definitely, about this. So we're ready, man. It's going to be great.
Can you talk about your experience at the Neuese News?
Well, Neuese News, I worked for Neuese News for about 6 months, actually. It was an experience that I actually needed when I really think about it now, just to see how, like, really being able to see guys like Brian Hanks and Junior Smith III and see what they do to cover sports the right way, and they've put me up on game. They've given me advice and tips on how to write, and I left Neuese News, I think, at the end of football season, fall sports season. But I've also been working for other places. I worked for the Kinston Press, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. Of course, the Daily Reflector. I'm very thankful for them. Nate Summers, Ronnie Woodward, Jake Keeter, Christopher Decker. Those guys have all done a lot for me. Of course, the News-Argus. You and I are on the same team. We've taken photos everywhere, TJ Edwards too. He's been giving me advice from time to time, even if it's from afar. Avi Smoka as well. And let's see, did I miss anybody? Oh yeah, the Washington Daily News. Got to thank Sean Finnerty and Mitchell Thomas as well. There are a lot of really good influences I have in the writing game. Obviously, it's in 2020. It's really hard to work at a newspaper and be in this game for that long, even if it's as a freelance reporter, which I am that pretty much. But really, just the experience of Neuese News kind of opened my eyes a little bit and tried to kind of ground me and remember, like, this is a business too. and things tend to happen for a reason. And Neuese News, I'm still grateful for my time there because they helped me improve a lot on my in front of the camera skills and even writing skills too. So it was a good experience there, I will admit. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you talk about your time at the News-Argus, joining me and Avi?
Y'all are my guys. You know that, of course. The News-Argus, I'm really thankful for Avi and for you. You guys have helped me like try and get to places and see some of the best student athletes we got in Wayne County and surrounding areas. It's really been a great experience. I know Kai also did some work with the News-Argus before starting WJG, and really I've gained a lot of really good friendships from working in Wayne County, and I look forward to hopefully continuing that. Excuse me, on this fall. Really hope that we can get a full sports season. Obviously, with everything that's going on, I'm not sure if that will be the case, but got a lot of love for the News-Argus.
Can you talk about your business, Laieke Abebe Photography?
Well, yeah, it's under my name, of course. I've been trying to start my own business and try and see if I could monetize my product for photos pretty much. So obviously I mainly want to cover my areas. I usually cover Lenoir, Pitt, Beaufort, Craven, Jones, Greene. That's kind of my area. I want to branch out a little bit more this year. I tried to get to Martin County a little bit. Tried to get to Edgecombe a little bit. Got out to Plymouth to see them. So really just trying to incorporate all that and of course try and get back to closer to the triad too. Whenever I'm around, I like just taking photos. That's all it really was. I just started taking this camera over here, this bad boy that has no lens, but I just try to take this camera and go places and see the world, and just try to get. And that's the thing about photography, especially sports photography. The reason why I love sports photography is because I want to make sure kids get memories that last a lifetime. That's the most important thing about it. Coming from someone who nobody ever took pictures of me playing sports, so I want to make sure no kid has to deal with that, and I want to make sure these kids got something that they can tell their kids and grandkids, like, yeah, that was me playing basketball and dunking on this guy, something like that. So that's how my business kind of got started. And of course, it's I'll kind of plug it. It'll be Laieka Abebe, my name, .smugmug.com if you want to purchase photos. So yeah, it's been a good experience with that too.
That's a great story. Can you talk about your new YouTube channel that you created, the Striker
Lights? Yeah, of course. Yeah, Striker Lights. Kai actually came up with the name for that. But really, I had not really gotten into videography like that before. And I just started last fall football, like that South Central, Greene Central game you probably see on WJG Sports page. That's the first official game I covered that I actually videoed. So really I've been doing work for WJG and for Kai, and I just thought, like, towards the end of the year, I'm just sitting here like, maybe I could start my own channel. And so at about December is when it started. And from there, it doesn't really matter what the views have been like. I mean, I only have 61 subs. It's okay. I mean, you can subscribe if you'd like. But really, it was about just getting some content out there for myself. That's something I did, and it was really cool to start it up. And I wanted to grow so it could be just as big as your channel, bro. I'm trying to get like you, man.
Can you talk about how people like me have helped you on WJG to get more coverage with covering more games?
Yeah, you've really helped us out. I know you got a lot of Princeton football for us early in the season last year. Look forward to getting more help from you this year. And I know you're a photo guy, but you're not that bad of a video guy yourself. So you got to get some more for us, man. We definitely love the support from the community, and we're trying to get to 1,000 subs. It's been almost a year. We're trying to get it by the end of the month. So it's been good to have people like you, people like Avi, people like Nick Oates. Nick Oates from We Up Athletic Group has helped us early in the season. We've got plenty of people. Trey Corden, who's Hoop Farm Mixtapes, he's helped us a lot. Brandon Corbett, Corbs Productions, he's been a huge help to us. My man Austin, All About Athletes, he's helped us too. Really just anyone you can name. There's so many big influences on what we do, very positive influences. So we really appreciate the love and support from the community, of course.
What advice would you give upcoming sports photographers looking to get into the profession?
Always have batteries and memory cards. Well, I mean, it's true, but really, you just got to have a passion for it. It's all about finding a way to represent the community and show it to the world, and show people that you're talented too. And obviously, right in the current day, there are a lot of independent content creators such as yourself, such as me, such as Kai, and countless others. And really, it's about it's not really about the money for all of us. We really just do it. We do it out of the mud, man. We just, with no finances, with barely anything, we just go out. We try to represent the community the right way and show the world we got some good stuff in this area, So what you always have to do, you have to have a passion for it. You have to seek advice from people that have been in the profession for a while, like someone like Bud Hardy, who I haven't mentioned. I can't believe I didn't mention him. Guys like Bud Hardy, like people who have really been in this area for a long time and know the ins and outs of photography. People like Tony Bruton, who are a great videographer, like him, like Trey, like Jay Anderson, really just people like that. And even people in the writing game, Hanks Jr. Smith III, Kai, even he helped me get started. Really, it's not just for sports photographers and videographers and writers. You got to have a passion. You got to love what you do every day, and you got to connect with the community. Those are really the two most important things that I would say.
What advice would you give upcoming sports videographers?
Well, as long as you have a camera, it's all about what you want your perspective to be. And for videographer, start in your area. Start right in your roots, and then try and branch out from there. That's how I really started. Like I've mainly been videoing Pitt County for the most part, at least on my channel. And then I've eventually branched out to other places. Like I got stuff from when I went to Charlotte for the private school state basketball championships. So it's just it's really about it's just like photographers and writers. You just gotta have passion for it. You gotta love it, and you gotta try and build your own brand and promote it the right way too.
Where can we find you on social media along with WJG?
Well, people know where to find me on social media, I guess. So personally, if you'd like to follow us, follow me. I'll start with me, I guess. At Strikia Nation 24 _ STRIKA Nation 24 _. And then my other Twitter is the Strikia Lights Twitter. You can find that on Twitter and Instagram, and also the Strikia Nation 24 _ is also my personal Instagram if you'd like to follow that as well. Of course, for WJG Sports on Twitter, you can find us at WJG _ Sports, WJG Sports on Instagram, on Facebook as well. And then on YouTube, of course, we are very close to 1,000 subs, so we would appreciate the support. Brandon has really helped us get some subs too. And of course, the Strikia Lights YouTube channel. Go check that out and subscribe as well. I'd like to hit 100 subs by the end of the month. That'd be great. But yeah, I think that's all I can promote right now. But yeah.
Thank you again, Laieka, for your interview. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at @talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Laieka, for your interview.
Thank you so much for having me, man. You know you got my full support, and make sure y'all go support Brandon Pate, man. This man has been interviewing people all over North Carolina. I know you got some big interviews today that you're going to put up, so I look forward to seeing more from you, man. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.